Thank you, sir. Again, we are honored to be in the great city of Cleveland, Ohio. And again, if you're not familiar with us, MGM magazine, we are a national magazine. We promote singers, musicians, artists from all over the world, ministers, preachers, so on, authors. We do it all. But today I have a dynamic woman of God in the house, all the way from England. And she also presently lives in Orlando, Florida. And she has some health products that we are going to discuss. And we want you to tune in because if you're a diabetic, if you have high blood pressure, if you have inflammation, we want you to stay tuned. We may have an awesome product that will bless your life and change the quality of your life. And this dynamic woman of God, her name is Dr. Maureen Whitehead.
Wow. Once again, it is my pleasure to be here. It's been years, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been
since
a while.
We've been together in the studio.
Yeah.
So first of all, I want to thank everyone, especially Michele, for giving me this opportunity, and thank this wonderful radio station for what it's doing. God's work.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Now, you've been involved with this product for close to 2 years. Tell us why you begin to try these products. What actually motivated you to begin to start trying these products?
Well, that's a long story, but we will try to keep it short. I had always suffered from asthma as a child, and it never seemed to want to go. I tried acupuncture. It looked like that was working for a minute, but then I found that it was a little too expensive. So years, I want to say years went by with this asthma and everything. But I was introduced to a gentleman for music and film work, and I never got in touch with him until, oh my goodness, several months later. And again, I had to be, someone called me and said, "Have you made contact with this person as yet?" And I hadn't. So I decided straight away to do so. So of course now I'm thinking we were going to be talking about, music and such. But we got onto the subject of health. And I was asked the question, if I had heard of a particular type of product. And I'm going to go into that in more detail shortly. And the actual product was moringa. And when he said the name, I thought he said moringa, I think the Spanish dance. So we both had a laugh because we realized that wasn't what it was.
Okay.
Of course, I hadn't heard of moringa. So he proceeded to tell me that it's a miracle tree and it's plant-based and so on and so forth. But prior to all of that, I had been praying for healing from diabetes and asthma. And because I'm one of these people, I'm like the doctor's worst nightmare. I do not like to take chemicalized medication. I'm all for natural products. And of course, I tried taking the natural supplements, even eating the natural vegetables like kale, spinach, and so on. That became very pricey and not really cost effective, because even if you buy big bundles of that, you have to be prepared to use it up very quickly. So hence not being cost effective. So for what he was telling me, I just felt in my spirit, seriously, that this was what maybe God has for me.
Right.
For the healing.
Right.
So I told him, give me 10 minutes to situate my money. I will get back with him. I did. And I I let him place an order for me of an actual bundle of products. And at this point in time, I want to at least introduce a few of them to the audience.
Now, you mentioned one thing additional to things that you were having problems with your body. You mentioned to me that you couldn't lay on your stomach to sleep. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. Okay. So the good news is it ties in with one of the first products that I want to introduce, but there are a couple of other products that also assisted with that. And pretty much what happened, I started taking the products, and a little later on, I was introduced to a product for the gut, for gut health. Okay. Because as anyone knows, all our ailments pretty much start from our gut. Right. Because our gut has inflammation, and unfortunately not good inflammation half the time. So many of the diseases that we have as men start from the gut. Right. So what was happening with me, there I was, the asthma, the diabetes, but I also was unable to lay on my front, on my stomach when I'm trying to sleep. And that was not fun. So having taken these products, some of them I noticed a total change where that was concerned. Okay. So I really would like to just talk a little about some of these products, especially with regard to what they do and what they've definitely done for me. Okay. They've not only done it for me, they've done it for others, and even people Michele has introduced me to has been on these products, some of them, and have seen relief, seen their health being maintained, especially our system. We've got to really make sure we maintain our immune system, especially with the COVID and everything going on. Now, one thing I will do, I will make a disclaimer. I'm not saying to anyone that, these things will heal you, they will cure or anything like that. But I am going to tell you, my testimony is that they do, okay? Because they have done so for me and they have done so for others. However, I still make that disclaimer with regard and respect to the company, that, I am not saying that that is the case for any and everyone. So this is my testimony.
And can I make one point? And two, anytime that you decide that you're going to take a product, you don't assume that the product is going to fix your bad behavior. You don't work against your body. I mean, if you're a diabetic, you still have to eat properly. You work against the product. You don't work against your body. You work with the product to get the results that you should get.
And I'm going to add to that, when she's talking about working with the product, the way you work with the product is you be consistent and disciplined, because, like anything, you cannot expect something to work immediately, although by God's grace that can happen. That does tend to happen depending on what's going on in your body. And everyone has different ailments. Everyone's ailments might take longer. It depends on what you've been accustomed to eating, how you've treated your body. Somebody who smokes, drinks, and so on, it might take longer for plant-based products to do what they really need to do, because they're bucking against situations that they don't necessarily need to buck against. But I really want, without further ado, to start showing you what some of these products are. Now, the most famous one, and as far as I'm concerned, the one that really started me on roads to recovery in many instances. And by the way, I have to say, as I said, this is my testimony. I no longer suffer from asthma. I no longer suffer from asthma. I will tell you right now that as a diabetic, I have had 3 or 4 readings, like 3-month intervals, and my hemoglobin A1C has gone down. So in other words, instead of everything going up, as a type 2 diabetic, and the doctor's getting ready to, put me on insulin because I was very fast approaching type 1. With the blessing of God and the aid of these products, I have seen the reverse. So my diabetes, the hemoglobin A1C, continues to go down. I want to now introduce you to some of these products that I have my testimonies on. This is called Supermix. Now, first of all, I mentioned at the top that we're talking about moringa, okay? Now, some of the products I'm going to show you, they are made from the moringa tree, which is also called a miracle tree. And the tree has flowers, leaves, seeds, the casing of the seeds, and all aspects of the moringa tree is utilized, okay, to produce our famous Supermix. And I want to also let you know that Supermix has proven itself that now even the regular physician's directory has Supermix in it, okay?
Excellent.
Yes. So Supermix has 90 plus, okay, 90 plus nutrients. Okay, that's a lot, right? 90 plus. But the blessing is that it also has, among all the various nutrients, it has all of the 20 amino acids, but most definitely the 9 essential amino acids. That is extremely important. Okay, so now you will get, the sachets look like this. You will get 30 of these, okay? So you get your month's supply. They come in a box that looks like this, okay? So you get 30-day supply. And all you have to do, you have to just pour it. It's a powder. You pour it into an 8 to 16 ounce bottle of water, shake it well, and consume it, okay? And you can do so either 15 minutes prior to your first meal of the day, or you can also take some of it 15 minutes prior to your first meal of the day, and then a little later on before 7 in the evening, if you want to to finish it off. But this is I call it the disease buster. And many, many people have tried this product, like myself, and have seen amazing results. We have an amazing testimony from a gentleman that is involved with these products. And his testimony is he was on 21 medications. 21, yes. And make a very long story short, he was taken off of 20 of them. And the doctor was so impressed that the doctor also decided to take the products. Okay? So that is Supermix. We also have Smart Mix. Smart Mix, and when Michele had asked me about the discomfort of laying on my stomach, it was initially our triotic, which is the equivalent to the probiotic, okay, that everyone raves about. So the triotic, you will get your 30-day supply again, and it tastes delicious. It really does. Mm-hmm. It definitely appeals to the sweet tooth, but the good news is it does not interfere with you having diabetes. It helps to, make that go away. All right, so this is what the triotic looks like. Now the triotic, and we have Smart Mix. Smart Mix actually, along with the triotic, is what we call the gut medicine. Okay. So what happens is we have inflammation in our gut. Okay. So Smart Mix along with the triotic. Okay, they go together. You can have them separately, but they go together for better results. And they are our gut health That was the name I actually wanted, the gut health, okay? So these also have their nutrients. The Smart Mix has the nutrients that Super Mix also has. And we have another one. I don't have the box for that. But so what you're doing here, what I'm showing you is the Super Mix is for any and every complaint that you might have. The Smart Mix and the Triotic together, okay, is the gut health, all right? Then we have our famous XM Plus. Now, XM Plus is to give you energy. So if you're lacking energy, you're still going to get your nutrients, your 90 plus nutrients, just like with the others. But now there's an added plus. You're going to get extra energy. And by the way, Supermix gives you energy as well. I got more energy 5 days after taking Supermix. One of my ladies that I shared the products with, she got energy more, and she walks and so on. She got more energy 3 days after taking the Supermix. So now going back to the XM Plus is excellent for that additional energy, okay? So anytime you feel tired or, you know, you feel like you can't go on, you know, that's what you do. And you can see that all three of these are the sachet sizes, okay? And you get 30 days supply. Okay, I do want to mention something else that's very important. Whenever we are consuming anything that's helping to maintain our good health, and everything here I've introduced so far to you is plant-based. They're all plant-based from the moringa tree, okay? We have our famous premium tea, which is also made from the moringa leaves, all right? Now, premium tea is a detox. You know, we normally are accustomed to taking laxative, going to the restroom, and so on and so forth. But when you take the premium tea once a week, sometimes twice a week, no more than that, when you take that, it's so much more pleasant, I want to say, than ordinary laxative. But ordinary laxative does not detox the body. You need to detox your body. And the reason why is because if you're taking Supermix, and that is getting, you know, working on any ailments in the body, we have cells, and those cells obviously become dead. They're dead cells. How do we get rid of them from our bodies? Yeah, we might think we can go use the restroom in the normal way, but premium tea will make that more successful because that's what it's for, with the moringa oleifera that it has in it. And be careful, folks, there's moringa and there's moringa. You can say, oh, I can go to GNC, or I can go and pick the leaves, or whatever. It's not the same. You will find that many places that have moringa, if you're not careful, they have fillers in them. You do not need fillers. You need the real deal, okay? And the company that produces all of what I'm sharing with you today, they are 100% above board, and they do not share anything that is not safe and not what they say is in, you know, the contents of the packets, okay? So I want to also tell you that we will have people who say, oh, I've heard of moringa. Yes, I have a tree growing in my backyard. Now, you can go pick those leaves. You can even get the seeds. But here's the problem. You might boil the leaves too much, too long, and therefore you're destroying all the nutrients, okay? You might eat too many of the seeds. That is actually not safe. It can be poisonous. So you don't need to go just picking things at random and just eating at will. You need to get what is tried and tested. Now, we have a famous doctor, his name is Dr. Plant, and he was first in his class at Harvard, and he is a scientist who has made it possible for us to be able to consume these things safely, okay, and for them to have a long enough shelf life, okay? So once you have the premium tea, going back to that, It will get rid of dead cells. It will detox the body, which is always good for our blood, okay, purifying our blood, helping our liver function better, and our kidneys, okay? So I really want you to know about those. And I feel another question coming on by Michele, but I do want to mention something else at this point. I want to mention N-Tunes. N-Tunes, everybody's raving about the CBD oil. I think everyone can agree with that. Yes, it does work. But the way we have them, okay, you can actually have them in patches. So each patch...
They work.
Yes, Lady Michele has tried them, and so has some of her other people that she introduced me to. You get 30 patches. They look like this, okay? Now, these patches are good for if you want to, like relax a little, if you feel any aches and pains, if you're having challenges with even sleeping, okay? You put a patch, you can put a patch anywhere. If you're having pain in your knee, you can put a patch in your knee, on your knee. The places we normally put them to work for the whole body is the back of our neck, okay, or our arm, our inner arm, left or right, it doesn't matter. But you can put them directly on wherever you're feeling the pain or the ache. But they definitely are awesome. And just to share with you very quickly some of what, I'll keep doing that, some of what the ingredients are. We have the hemp CBD oil, we have the water-soluble hemp CBD powder, the white willow bark, the cat's claw, and the CoQ10. That is the makeup of these patches, okay? But they're so convenient because unlike having to take the oil and rub it or consume it, you can just place a patch and you can bathe, shower with these and they won't come off.
They won't come off.
Okay? But we say use them for 24 hours. You can use them a little longer, but 24 hours is good. All right? So I just wanted to share that with you. Now, I want to also say very quickly, I'm not here to sell you anything, okay? I'm here to share because I care. There are too many people suffering with bad health, going to the doctors, getting all these chemicalized medication that the good Lord above did not mean for us to have. You go back to the Garden of Eden, what do we find? Plants, flowers, yes? Seeds. So we have gone back to the Garden of Eden with our moringa products. Now, having said all of that about the moringa products, I want to just remind you that you can go on my website, which is, and it will show also, you will see my website, but it's www.maureeng78.isogenics.com, okay? But you will see that so you can get the correct spelling and everything. I do want to say something. And once you go on the website, there's all of the various products that you can see, and most definitely you can purchase those products. You can get discounts on those products. And folks, I will say to you, please don't let the price rule your heart. Your health is important. Without our health, we have nothing. And when you see a price, you've got to say, for them to be able to charge those prices, this thing must be good. Well, I can attest to that, because everybody would say, ooh, the prices might be a bit steep. But when you try these products and you see what they do, you start to think, man, these products are cheap, okay, because of the results that you get. But you have to be consistent and disciplined. And I have some more things to tell you about them, but Michele has a question for me.
Now, when the first year that you were on the products, you said that you actually took them to your doctor. Tell us about that.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I changed doctors, and I was seen at the time, my new doctor was a nurse practitioner, and she was aware of certain herbal type products, but she wasn't aware of moringa. So interestingly enough, she kind of allowed me to not feel I had to take metformin or Janumet or any of those chemicalized medications. She said, okay, keep taking your products. My blood pressure was high also, by the way. And what then happened...
Can you tell us what it was?
Yes. When I first went to that brand new doctor, the nurse practitioner, it was 198 over, I want to say 96. That's high. Okay. And when I told her, well, you know, and I hadn't started taking all of these products. I had only started taking the super mix, to be honest with you.
Okay.
All right. And the premium tea. And at that time, I wasn't as disciplined with the premium tea. But then she went back into the hospital rather than the office. So now I had another brand new doctor. So whenever you go to a new doctor, you know how it is. They say, bring all your medications and so on and so forth. So I didn't have medications. I had my moringa products. Yeah. So I took every single one of them to him, and including the one I was taking for the blood pressure. And when I showed him everything, and by the way, they came back after testing my blood pressure and said, wow, it's 120 over 76. So my blood pressure went back to normal. And by the way, that was my third visit.
Right.
This is 3-month intervals, okay?
Yeah.
So that was, after 90 days? Okay, my third visit. So for my blood pressure to go from the 198, okay, over 96, then the next reading was actually 170 something over 88, because now I was taking more of the products. I was now taking specifically one for the blood pressure.
Right.
But the super mix also helps with blood pressure big time. So the third visit is where it went to 120 over 76. Okay, so I want to very quickly introduce you now to just some other products. This is called AmpNox, and AmpNox actually is great for the blood pressure, because what happens for you to have high blood pressure, there's something called nitric oxide. And if we don't have enough nitric oxide in our vessels, which is part of our muscles, and what it does, nitric oxide helps our vessels expand within our muscles, okay? If we don't have enough, expansion and air going through that, our vessels, guess what? That's what gives us the high blood pressure. So for lowering the blood pressure, when you take the AmpNox, all right, that will help you with your heart, it will help you with the blood pressure, and it will also help you with fatigue, any fatigue. So I want to also mention that we have other products like Cleanse for Life. This is great for people who want to lose weight. And by the way, Super Mix helps you with your weight as well, okay? And XM Plus does too, because if you're exerting energy, you're actually burning calories, okay? So this Cleanse for Life, it's good for us when we're trying to fast. If, say, we want to fast for a couple of days or whatever, we take it, it tastes great, we have different flavors, okay? And then, of course, we have other wonderful delights. We have something called Hydrate. Now, if you ever feel thirsty, let's say you're working out, we've got all these products are fantastic for people who work out or people who don't work out, okay? But these come in different flavors. And again, they're sachets, okay, that look like this. And you just put them in water, just like you would do with the Super Mix or any of the others. And then we have chips, okay? We have candy bars. But guess what? The difference is, instead of you getting a whole load of sugar, and by the way, most of our products, if there's sugar, it's actually molasses and honey. But you have nutrients, okay? So you're not having all that sugar. So I just wanted to share all of that with you and hope it helps.
Fantastic. And we hope when you tune in and go find Dr. Maureen Whitehead, and hopefully you will find something. Supermix is the gut buster.
No, Supermix
is the
main one.
You called it something. But we hope you go ahead and go online. Disease Buster. There it is. Okay, and check out those products. We appreciate you tuning in, and you guys be blessed.
Amen.